All right, looks like it's populating. All right, I see we have a few of you here. Good morning, Tara. Good morning. I think that may be Rachel, Mom, and Alan. Good to see you all. Awesome. Good morning to
All
our
right, looks like it's populating.
YouTube.
All right, I see we have a few of you here. Good morning.
Okay, there you go. All right, technology is changing so quickly. And if you don't stay on top of it, you will find yourself shocked when you go to use it because there are so many changes taking place in the digital world today. Awesome. So, good morning to each of you who have joined us. We're going to start here in about 15 seconds. So, I give you some time to grab your coffee or whatever it is, your beverage that you want to partake of this morning. Let me send one message here. Okay, I see a couple people that's watching us now from the YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I want to say good morning to each of you. Welcome to our Serendipity Sunday seminar. I am grateful to each of us, each of you that is, who are here today, and that you're ready to engage with a topic that touches all of us deeply. We've been talking about change for the within the last 30 days, I've introduced this concept to you dealing with William Bridges' book, Transitions, Making Sense of Life Changes. So we're going to stay in that vein this morning. My message this morning is entitled, Now That Change Has Come, Navigating New Paths. Yes, changes come. This week has been a week filled with changes. But our life is always filled with changes. So we want to embrace that this morning. So I want you to imagine starting your day on your usual route that you normally take to work, only to find a new sign, long-term delay ahead. Suddenly, the familiar path that is closed, the way you normally go, and an alternative route is now part of your daily routine. Like this detour, life often sends us unexpected journeys. Although these changes might disrupt our comfort, they also offer us a chance to explore new avenues, meet different people, discover new opportunities that might never have been encountered if we were on our traditional route that we normally take. So it's kind of difficult when you have the a change that it just comes upon you. But life is filled with changes, and many people have a difficult time wrapping their minds around that life is filled with changes. But it's not the change that I think people have a difficult time wrapping their minds around as much as it's more so the transition that's required to be present to the change. So this morning, I want to delve into an understanding of how we can navigate the inevitable changes, not just adapt to them, but thrive and find a deeper meaning in our own paths as we move through. So, in New Thought philosophy, there's a core belief that our thoughts create our reality. One of the founders of Unity, Charles Fillmore, he's a pioneer of that unity philosophy. He articulated it clearly when he stated, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Repeat that to me. That's pretty cool. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. One more time. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. This simply means that our attitude towards change can significantly influence how we experience it. If we approach it with dread, we miss out on the opportunities it presents. Conversely, if we view it as a doorway with new possibilities, it becomes just that. This week, we've had a political change nationally and locally. There's been losers and winners. It's been a week filled with individuals who appear to be grieving. And it's almost as if they lost loved ones. We have to be careful how much we put into external things that we have very little control of. So as we face rapid changes in our political system and increasing influence in technologies like AI or ChatGPT, which is a large language model, how we choose to perceive and react to these changes will shape our journey through them, will shape our day. Let's keep in mind, that is, we must keep our minds open and our perspectives positive as we navigate these transformations. We must be mindful of this. The scripture provides profound guidance for those who are with me this morning that are on come through the traditional path of perhaps Christianity. You're familiar with Isaiah 43 and 19. And it says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Not now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" Or you can read it like this: "Behold, a new thing is unfolding. Do you perceive it?" He says, "I will make a way in the wilderness and the rivers in desert." That is, you have to make a way in the change, in the wilderness, and rivers in this desert you may be going through. So we often expect source to do what it has equipped us to do. And when we look at this passage, it reassures us that even in the midst of upheaval, change, there is a divine plan that's always unfolding, particularly for you. It's creating a path that there seems to be none in existence. Situations that are jumping off are only bridges that that will take us from where we are to where we need to go. So it's important that we not get caught in the change that is taking place and how the difference of what is unfolding affects us. But we always be mindful that we must learn to embrace change. Now, I want you to reflect on the story of the children of Israelites. We talked about this, who wandered in the desert on their journey to the promised land. Their journey was fraught with challenges, required faith, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Every step was part of a divine transformational process, teaching them about resilience and the power of guided change. Now, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how the children of Israel had to deal with the change. But for some who was unwilling to embrace the possibility of going into the promised land and the change that meant they weren't ready for the transition from the old to the new possibility. So they had to walk around in the old until they died, until they got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And during that time, a lot of people passed away. But imagine if they would have listened to, hearkened to Joshua and Caleb, that dynamic duo, and went right in and possessed through trust. And just like us, we have to go in and possess it. The landscape has changed. Maybe your political party is has taken office or will take office, or maybe they won't. But we must realize that we as believers are called to be in this world, but not of this world. And I don't think we've really wrapped our minds around it, because many of our preachers never really taught it, that we are truly ambassadors. And we don't understand what an ambassador is, how an ambassador operates. That's your assignment this week. Why don't you go to the State Department's website and see how they choose ambassadors, what the United States ambassadors represent. They represent the United States. They don't represent themselves. And too many of us, we don't represent the kingdom from which we come. We have our own opinions and we represent our opinions, but an ambassador doesn't have an opinion. An ambassador has signed on to and has integrated into their belief system the thought of the principles and the practices of the kingdom, and it's not influenced by what is going on around them. So I want you to kind of consider that. Now, I want to give some psychological insight and strategies for coping with change. Okay. Change happens. You can't do anything about it. It happens. You can't change it, but you can deal with it more appropriately. I like to bring in, for those you're not familiar with, an individual by the name of Kubler-Ross. Understanding our psychological reaction to change is crucial. And Kubler-Ross model, for instance, outlines stages from denial. You know, many of us when we woke up on, after the election, many people I know were in denial that it happened. They were sitting as if they were a deer caught in the lenses of a oncoming car. So her model outlines stages from denial and anger to bargaining to depression and acceptance. And I believe that some of what we go through when change means the ending of something, and it's a grieving process. People are disappointed. So recognizing these stages can really help you to navigate your emotional response more effectively to not only the political changes that are taking place, but there's other changes, the digital changes that are taking place, the AI, ChatGPT. I had a client this week who is struggling with the change that their job will no longer be executed in the way that it normally has been executed. Because their employer has incorporated ChatGPT into the processes, and so that means that they have to relook how they have been doing things. So we have to get with the program. So incorporating strategies such as journaling your feelings, seeking a support group, or talking with others who are impacted by the change will help you facilitate the process. But be careful who you surround yourself with, who you get into these conversations with. If they're not kingdom-minded people, if they don't really resonate with the same belief systems that you resonate in, it can cause you even more problems. So I want you to be mindful of that. So consider your own recent experience with change this week. What stages do you find yourself in today? Are you still denying that it happened? Okay. Or maybe are you angry about it, or do you have some kind of emotional response that you're sitting inside of? Are you bargaining? The bargaining process is going through saying, if this person would have done this, we should have done that, or are you even in this state of disappointment? I like to use disappointment, even though many people are saying that they're depressed, but they're really disappointed. But when you stay inside of disappointment long enough and not move through it, then depression will set in. And then finally, you're going to come to the place where you're at acceptance. So when we look at Kubler-Ross's model of grieving, or dealing with change, or depression, or no, dealing with change or something ending, you got the denial that we're going to go through. You got the anger or the emotional stuff. You got the bargaining, the blaming, the bargaining, the if people would have, could have. Then we have the final state of despair or depression or just disappointment. And finally, you wrap your mind around it and you say, I have to accept this. It has happened. So let's move forward. So I want you to consider that. What stage do you find yourself in that 5-stage model? How can you move towards a acceptance of what is? We accept change. I accept the fact that I'm moving into being 65. I accept that. If I don't accept it, I can't do anything about it anyway. I'm 65 years old. I accept the change that comes with that. But now I got to wrap my mind around it. I have to make some transitions in order to fully embrace it, to accept it and to embrace it. So when to accept it is what it is. To embrace it is to be familiar what it is and to change your processes that you can maximize inside of this. So that's important. So think about that. I introduced the book a couple weeks ago, William Bridges, and that book is entitled Transitions, Making Sense Out of Life's Changes. And I recommend it highly for all of you who are going through changes, age changes, job changes, relationship changes, just have to career path changes. It's a great book. So William Bridges provides a clear framework for understanding the process of transition in 3 stages. Okay, so I'm going to check in with you this morning. Are you guys tracking with me? Am I moving too fast, or are you with me? Just go ahead and type that in. It's good to see the number of people that are joining here in the Zoom room this morning, and so the chat is open. Go ahead and drop your chat comments in there. I really appreciate that. Yeah, well, while you're doing that, I want to also look over here in the Zoom room and see what happens. For those of you who are with me on the Zoom room this morning, good morning. It's good to see you all. Go ahead and drop your comments or questions in as we move forward this morning. So I talked about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. So if you're not familiar with her model of grieving or death and dying, that's a good model to become familiar with to identify what phase you may be in. Now, today you may wake up and you may feel like, hey, I'm just going to accept it. And you are doing well. But then 2 weeks from now, you may find yourself feeling a sense of despair or feeling a sense of disappointment. When we're talking about the stages of grief, you're going to go through them back and forth. And ultimately, you'll get to that final stage and stay there. But that's a process. And part of really embracing that process is to really or bring Williams Bridges' model into this conversation. So he provides a clear framework for understanding this process of transition. And he has 3 stages. And just to recapitulate, we've talked about them. Stage 1 is the ending or the losing and letting go stage. Okay. So we must be willing to let go, acknowledge the loss, acknowledge the ending. This is where we confront our losses and detach from the old realities, much like acknowledging the closure of that familiar road I talked about earlier. So we have to wrap our minds around it's over. Wrap our minds around the potential loss. Wrap our minds around the need to let go. That's important. Good morning, Carol. I'm glad you were able to make it in. The second step that part of this 3-point phase that Bridges talks about is the neutral zone. And this week, many people are in the neutral zone. What we talk about in the neutral zone is we feel uncertainty of not knowing exactly where we are headed. What direction will this country go into? We can project on where it's been based on those who are being pulled into, who have been voted into the new office, and they've been there before. So we can project that it's going to be the same old. But there's a possibility of change even in that. Okay, so we have to be open to the idea that during this time, you experience uncertainty. The uncertainty of not knowing exactly where you're headed, the uncertainty of not really knowing what's going on. Everything is topsy-turvy. It's a period of confusion, but also of great creativity, where we are free to explore new identities, new ideas. Also, this is an opportunity for many of you to disconnect from the over-involvement in this process. Okay, it's an excellent bridge for you now to really begin to lean into the idea that you are an ambassador of a new level of thinking, a Christ consciousness, that you represent a universal way of moving through life. And you're not really staying within inside the boundaries, the confine of the system, the world system. We're called to be in the world, not of the world. So you're in the neutral zone. You're in the place where you can make some changes. Things have not fallen down and hard set. So take advantage of the neutral zone. Know the neutral zone is the place where you're going to feel a lot of uncertainty because you're going headed to something new. Now, ultimately, when you get to the place of embracing this, you're ready for the new beginning. We begin to embrace new ways of being, integrating these into our lives to forge a renewed sense of purpose and direction. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 6 tells us, it encourages us to recognize that there is a time for every purpose under the heaven, a time to tear down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh. We go through all those stages. Each phase is crucial and must be fully experienced for a true transformation to begin. Yes. So this morning, I'm really talking to you about being present to what's going on now that change has come. But just because change has come does not mean you are embracing it. There can still be a level of resistance. As human beings, it is so natural to resist change. Why? Because we're creatures of habit. When there's change, that means there's a necessity for us to do things differently. There's a necessity for us to change our routine. And notice our routines have been put in place because they serve us. But now they no longer serve us because there's a new way of doing things. So change. We got to be willing to accept it as a natural part of life. Your party may be in this for, but it may not be in the next for. But we have to understand, be present to the change that has taken place. What changes have taken place in your life that you really have not made the transition to fully embracing it, accepting it? You're still going through the grieving process. You're still hoping that the old will return. Behold, the word says, behold, I do a new thing. The word tells us your latter days will be greater than your former days. So the former days represent the old. The latter day represents the unfolding changes that comes with life. Got to make it through that. We got to be willing to adjust, accept change and adjust through the transitions, the letting go, the releasing period, the neutral zone of a new normal stepping in. And that's easier said than done. All of this is easier said than done, but it must be done. So I want you to really consider what changes have taken place. Now, another thing I'm talking about now, for a lot of individuals, particularly within the older um, demographic, they're stuck in a digital divide. Meaning they are not even we're in a digital world. We're in a world that is filled with the digital technology, and some people still are holding on to the rotary phone. And if you're operating the rotary phone, you're dead in the water because you can't press one. When that chat box on the other side tells you press one for English, two for Spanish, and you thinking that you can just turn that rotary dial, but nothing happens. So we must embrace the changes, the digital changes that are in our lives. And my hat's off to I deal a lot with veterans who are seniors, and I see that many of them have acculturated these changes or the digital changes, but many people are struggling. So if you're struggling in the digital age, you get help with it. There's something that's really looming on the horizon that many people are sleeping. When we talk about AI, artificial intelligence, has been around for a very long time, but now we have these what they call large language models. Say that with me: large language models of AI, and one of which is Chat GPT, or Claude, or there's so many of them out here where you can use it. And if you're not understanding it, you're getting behind the eight ball. You can put your head in the ground and say, "Oh, I'm not going to get involved in that conversation." But guess what? AI is here to stay. Large language models are here to stay. Many people are afraid that their jobs will be replaced. The jobs won't be replaced, but individuals who are not able to use the technology will be replaced. Come on, so you got to get out in front. The way you get out in front, you accept change and you adjust around change and you transition to make the best of the change. That is important for all of us this morning. So as we close today, remember the assurance that we find in John 16 and 33. And it tells us, that's where the story about Jesus is saying, in this world, you will have trouble. Let me say it like this. In this world, you will have change. Better put, in this life that you're living, you will experience change. But we are admonished to take heart. Just knowing that change is coming is one thing, but to be prepared to shift with change, to transition through change. You are an overcomer. You have to overcome. You have to learn to embrace and transition through. I want to empower each of you to face your change, not merely as a challenge, but as an opportunity to demonstrate your resilience and your capability. So accept the change that has come. Now transition the way you've done things, the way you've thought about things, the way you looked at things, and master it. That's my word for you this morning. My word of encouragement is that change has come. Now master it. That's important. So thank you for spending some time with me this morning. So as you step forward into this unfolding reality, embrace each change with courage and optimism. Don't be pessimistic. Be an optimist. So let's navigate these new paths that lies ahead together. Let's find joy in the midst of change. Let's find the opportunity that comes with this change. In every change that comes our way, you can find joy and opportunity. Don't let change disrupt your day. Don't let the idea that something external to you can be imposed on you and change how you go through life. I was saddened to see so many of my coworkers, individuals that I encountered this week that are Christians. They walk under the label of Christians, or even those who walk inside of what is called expanded thought, new thought. But they were still operating in an old paradigm. They were displaying disappointment, despair, because they're overindulged in what they see, what they hear. They're overindulged, over-identifying with the system. So if anything, how you responded this week, reflect on it. And what is this showing you about? Where is your faith? Where is your trust level? Is your trust level in the system of this world? Well, look at the system of this world. Look at the democratic, not the democratic, but look at the legislative system, the judicial system in this world in which we live, particularly in America. Is it fair? No. So what makes you think it's all of a sudden is going to change? But you got to learn to step outside of this world, to be in this world, but not of this world. And that's not magical thinking. That means I take on the idea that I'm more powerful than I have been led to believe that I am. That means that I take on the idea that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That means that I look at the scripture that says, "What is man that thou art mindful of him, that you've made him a little lower than angels?" We reflect on these scriptures. What does it mean when it says, "Take no thought"? What does it mean when it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom"? What does it mean when it says you are an ambassador? Come on now. We embrace change. We transition through change. The biggest change that we all must make is the realization that we are not mere humans. And once you embrace that, transition through the old thoughts, old beliefs, and move into the new possibilities, then you become the creator of the world you desire. Awesome. Good. Let me close with prayer. So right where you are, just close your eyes for a second. Take a big breath in, resetting, recentering. Let that which has been spoken go from your head to your heart. Divine Spirit, infinite source of all that is, as I conclude this gathering, we center our hearts and minds in the infinite flow of your divine wisdom. We affirm our unity with this wisdom, recognizing our innate ability to navigate the ever-changing currents of life with grace and strength. We acknowledge the divine presence within us that guides our thoughts and our actions. We embrace change with open hearts, seeing it not as a harbinger of loss, but as an opportunity for growth, a chance to manifest new blessings and experience in our lives the greater that comes later. And the later is now. In the spirit of new thought, expanded thought, we affirm our power to shape our reality. We declare that each thought we choose is infused with positivity and purpose, creating a future bright with possibilities. We release right now old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us, making space for new ideas and inspirations that propel us forward. This morning, today, this evening, whenever this is being received, we give thanks for the wisdom to know that every experience is part of our spiritual evolution. Understanding that each moment is ripe with potential to reflect the love and peace that resides within each of us. May we continue to hold the vision of our lives as expressions of divine harmony and prosperity. So as we move forward today, may our paths be illuminated by clarity and our steps guided by unconditional love. The reality that there is an unconditional love that is extended from you, from the universe to us, that you conspire with us. It's the relationship, not the performance. Let us carry with us the peace that comes from the true alignment with you, spreading it generously in every encounter. So together we affirm, we are courageous, we are resilient, we are ever evolving. May this truth anchor our spirits as we navigate the unfolding journey of our lives. In all that is holy and good, we trust and let it be. And so it is. Amen. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining this morning. So before we go into the green room where we will have conversation, if there's questions out there, I want to say a couple things. First of all, those who desire to be supportive of the ministry financially, you can give by way of Cash App, or you can give by way of the Zelle. If you see there on the screen, down in the lower left-hand corner, the Zelle Cash App is 708-368-1076. or you can go to the website, oasis-everywhere.com, go to the giving page, and there you will find the different ways you can transmute what you have and desire to sow into this ministry in the ministry. And know this, I don't expect you to give because I have an obligation or a need, because I have no obligations, or I do have obligations, but I have no needs. Source provides for me. This is an avenue for you to say, I find value in what has been delivered, being delivered, and I want to be supportive of it. If you can tip a waiter or a waitress that did not give you any kind of service, how much more should you tip here because you've received service, something that's good and acceptable for you? So I thank all of you who are supporting the ministry, and in whatever measure you're supporting it. Don't forget the ministry. Many times people have stated that they intend to do, but it never comes through. So first things first. All right, I want to say good morning to our YouTube audience this morning that I see on the screen. Good morning to Born Eternal Lord Allah. Peace and longevity to you also. Good morning, Myrna, the Myrna Experience. I'm glad to see you were able to join us from Bermuda. All right. So we are international. You're taking it, you're an ambassador. You're taking what we have here to where you are there. And good morning to you and your family. And I pray everything is well there. Good morning, Lisa Divine Rising. Acceptance, that's right. Acceptance is key. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now, Myrna says, thank you for your prayer. We must remember that change creates opportunities for personal growth. Yes, change is the step to personal growth. Now, some people don't grow because they stay stuck in the thing that has changed, or they don't accept the change. Come on, let's do that. All right, I'd like that. And I want to say good morning to those who are with me over in the YouTube. I mean, the chat room, Zoom room. Good morning, Al. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning, Genevieve. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Tara. Good morning to all of you. So if you got something, go ahead and drop it in. I think this is Rachel. My takeaway, I must be careful not to put my trust into external things that I have no control over. Yes, now here's a caveat. I don't even put my trust in the things that I have control over, because those things become our habitual, our habits, our rituals. We always must be front and center to what is our silent partner saying. Don't just automatically do things the way you've been doing them because they work. It's easy to reevaluate what you're doing when they're not working, but how about when things are working, and instead of automatically working what works, to ask, should I employ a different way? Should I integrate something else? Now, I'm finding that part of the conversation that has to do with AI and Chat GPT and all of those things, we are not integrating for the most part. And when I say we, for the most part, we are the last to the digital party, people of African descent. What we find ourselves is we're using this technology for joy. We're using this technology, but we're not mastering it where we can turn it over into wealth creation. And there are so many opportunities that are available today if you learn how to operate in the new systems that are out there. Awesome. Tara said, thank you. Thank you, Tara, for joining us. Anybody else want to drop a takeaway, or you have a question? Good morning. I see your hand is up, Mom. Good morning. You have the mic. Awesome. Go ahead. See your hand. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Maybe your hand was up earlier and I missed it, but I'm giving you the mic now if you have something you want to share or I mean to address. Okay, you have to unmute yourself. I'm not hearing you on my end. Anyone else? I'm looking in the chat room here. on the YouTube side of the house. If anyone has something they want to add, something they want clarity on, please feel free to type it right in there. Okay, so I'm not going to prolong. I'm going to get over into the day. I'm going to put this together. Go ahead, Mom. You have the mic.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. You know,
Yes.
I truly have a testimony. I've been in so much pain for the last 3, 4 months. I mean, pain. Take pain pills. I don't like that. Greg told me, take one and call your doctor. So I took one. I had to give it a chance to work. So I guess seeing it got worse. When I walk, I had to walk bend over. I couldn't wash my dishes standing up. None of that. I couldn't have cook. I had to sit down, sleep. So last week, my doctor gave me some called muscle relaxers. I said, oh, okay. 2, 3 days, I ain't felt nothing relaxed. Friday evening, the pain was so bad in my hip and my thigh. I said, I ain't taking no more pain medicine. The people in the downstairs looked at me. I said, I'm a believer. I am a believer. I don't know why I'm running around here of putting all this junk into my body. And I believe in my divine healing. So I come upstairs. I didn't take no more. And I woke up Saturday morning. Holy Spirit had told me, you made the right move. Don't take any more. So I moped around yesterday. I went out. I heard a little bit. This morning, I had to go for a CAT scan, 8:30. I walked from the parking lot into the main hospital down to diagnostic. I didn't bend over. I didn't sit down. I didn't wasn't out of breath. I was in there 3 minutes. I said, dog, I didn't get a chance to rest. I was back out. I said, I'm gonna find me a place to sit. I walked all the way back to that lot, got in my car, and got back home in time enough to let Greg know I was back home. But don't tell me how God works. Because
Yes.
in one of Greg's messages last week, a week before last, it says, what are you believing for? What are you believing for? Every doggone thing went through my mind, and I said, my healing, my healing. But I'm doing everything that gives my belief. So it works if you work it, and divine healing is the better than any that medication that they give you. He's your healer. Leave that mess alone. It works on one thing. I said, I don't know why my skin is drying up. My hair is drying up. I'm taking too much junk. Other people that got in my ear. But you know what? Only God is in my ear now. And I just want you all to know I'm blessed. And I'm
Oh,
standing on the word
excellent.
that I'm totally healed.
Excellent.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you. We thank you for that testimony. And I want to say to the listeners, the word says, it is done unto you as you believe. And I can know what you believe based on what you do, not so much as what you say. So we are all on a trajectory to enlightenment. Now, my mom has reached, she's been in this game for a long time. She's reached a point of decision that what she's been doing isn't working. What she's added to her faith wasn't working. And so she's deciding to lean into her faith. Now, each one of you, you have the liberty to go about it at your pace. But there's a possibility that lies open for you. And that possibility is when we trust and lean not to our own understandings. So I want to pray a prayer right now for those who are experiencing pain in their bodies. So we gather here in this space, a sacred space. We are grateful for your guiding light source and unwavering presence in the midst of our ever-changing world. As we close this time together, we're asking for your wisdom and strength to navigate the new paths. We acknowledge that change is taking place, that change has come. But we are praying right now for those individuals who are aging, those individuals who are having problems in their physical bodies. As we conclude this morning, we're asking, we're decreeing, we're declaring that there is a better way. So in this sacred moment, we turn our hearts and minds towards the infinite power of healing that flows from your presence. We acknowledge and affirm the divine wholeness that underlies all physical experiences, including our own. We call forth the infinite healing energy that pervades the universe to envelop everyone in pain right now that's calling on you. We affirm that each cell, each tissue, each organ is filled with the light of healing and restoration. We visualize this healing energy as a soothing light, penetrating every part of our body in need, mending what is hurt, easing what is strained, and restoring what is broken. For those who are in pain right now, we affirm strength and comfort. We declare that pain is a temporary experience, not the enduring state. We embrace the knowledge that beyond discomfort lies peace and renewal. We hold in our thoughts the perfect image of every body being healed, every mind at peace, every spirit uplifted. So we affirm the power of gratitude and positivity. May all who are suffering find respite in the assurance of their divine nature and the healing capacities endowed within them. May they feel supported by love, surrounded by care, and uplifted with love. So together, we trust the process of healing, believing in the divine order of restoration and balance. We release this prayer into the law of the universe, knowing it activates the healing that is already underway. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Yes, yes. So it is. Well, all right. We thank you for that testimony this morning, Mom. For those of you who are listening in, Source, the universe is no respecter of persons. What it has done for one, it will do for you. So we just have to learn to take solace in knowing that Source cares for us. All right. Awesome. So that's all I have today. You guys be about whatever it is you want to be about. Enjoy this day. All right. Peace. Have a wonderful day.